Hello YouTubers, Joe Kersey here on Saturday, June 4th, 2016 at 3 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern Time. Today was a day of funeralizing and other things. After a reasonably good night's sleep, I got up around 6:30 and actually felt reasonably well. I mean, sometimes I feel like I've been beaten up, when I get up, but not this morning. And I had, this funeral was at 10 o'clock, so I thought, well, I need to go buy some supplies. And I need to get some stuff from Staples, but Staples turned out wasn't open. But I went over to the Giant Eagle and I got my supplies. I left around 8:30. Now, the funeral's at 10 o'clock. As it turned out, I didn't time it all that badly. I paid the electric bill. The electric company hasn't actually read my meter for 2 months, and so they now have me having used 1,000 kilowatts more than I've actually used. At some point, we'll have to get that squared away, but okay. They always just credit your account, so it's not a big deal. You're going to use it anyway. Then I dropped. I paid my estimated quarterly income tax to the state and the feds. I wrote those checks. So on the way up to this, after buying my supplies, I swung by the post office and mailed these things. I'll tell you, my word, it was just, the traffic was just horrendous this morning. It's a good thing I don't normally drive around up here on a Saturday. That was awful. I think I waited like 5 minutes at every intersection. Either, of course, some of the lights are quite long, but at the stop signs, 5 minutes. It's easily that. It's ridiculous. No wonder people sit there and horse around on their damn phones. Well, got to church, and and basically with just about the time I would have arrived anyway had I chosen not to go to the store. I will say, this interim rector guy, he does give you a bit of a briefing in a way, so he does give you a heads up about what's going to happen in a way that the previous fellow didn't do. Or even if the guy had given you a heads up, he would change it in the middle of the stream. This guy doesn't do that. Plus, this guy's a really, really, really good preacher. And I will say that Charles, the guy who was here before, he was also a wonderful funeral preacher. So we've been very fortunate in that, given that several giants have fallen in the forest here recently. And despite people saying, oh, this is going to be a small affair, the woman was 93 and she didn't have any family that was alive, and all that. We had about 35 people show up for this thing. So now, she didn't want a big deal, so we didn't have a communion. I did the first reading, which was from the Lamentations of Jeremiah. You know, God will come to those who wait, from chapter 3. And then a fellow that had grown up in our church and had been away for a while. Now he's coming back periodically. And he was had a particular relationship with this woman. You know, she was very kind to him when he was growing up. He did the reading from Revelations 21 reading. I'm the Alpha and the Omega. Although that's said actually 3 times in Revelations. At least twice. So it was a very good service. As all these things happen when you don't have a communion, it ended rather abruptly, and we didn't do the interment in our columbarium. So she's going to be shipped out to Illinois to be interred out there with her family. Well, there it is. It was good. No music. She was a member of the Episcopal sort of Society of Daughters of the King. I don't know, maybe that covers other Christian denominations as well. I don't know. And sort of like their obligatory song is Lift High the Cross. But since there were no hymns, our organist Carol Hallenbeck played, just played the music for Lift High the Cross. So it was good. It was good. At some point, I'm going to have to print out all the burial office readings so that I can just, put together a portfolio, if I'm going to be called on this to do, which I should have done I should have done that about 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I didn't. But no problem. I did, I did the what passes for the prayers of the people in the series as well. Yeah. Okay. So that's it. I haven't had a chance to talk to my son about his job interview yesterday. I have to see how that went. And then I wasn't able to go to my grandson's soccer game this morning, but that's okay. They understand about that. This Robin is being very evocative over here, very vocal. I saw a young male deer last night with just short antlers with the velvet on them still. He was clearly just the yearling male that had been turned out. He's now on his own. He's growing his stuff. Probably see him roaming around here trying to get it on here with these women above his station next fall here. So one of those young guys get the crap stabbed out of him with an antler from an older guy some years back. And then I saw another, he would be a 3-year-old, so 2 years turned out guy. He had one of his antlers knocked off, and it never grew back. And we saw him around for a couple, 3 years after that. But he always just had the one, rather than 2. I know maybe the female deer who were into a little bit of kink, went after him or something. Who knows? So, on that note, I'll say bye-bye, YouTube. There's the great The Great Maw down there.